Rip the Band-Aid off fast. We had Rosa Mendez, Natalya, Brie Bella, and Naomi backstage going to get Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes out of her dressing room. And then Cameron, Summer Rae, and Nikki Bella walk by, and Nene and Cameron have an exchange, of which I understand literally 0 words, but I do know that they finish it by both saying girl bye. And the entire time Cameron's in Nene's face, Natalya is being Natalya and telling Cameron that what she's doing is inappropriate and wrong and bad. And as obnoxious as Cameron was in this segment, I think I still preferred her to Natalya.
Every week. Natalya will never find a week where she wins, folks. We just dislike her that strongly.
Listen, if you watch Total Divas, I don't care who you are. If you watch Total Divas, you will also hate Natalya. Unless you are Natalya. That's the only case where you will not hate her by watching the show.
I think that's the closest to actual analysis I'd be willing to give this segment, so let's just move on to put ourselves out of the pain. So,
up next was Cameron, Nikki Bella, and Summer Rae versus Natalya, Naomi, and Brie Bella, with Rosa Mendez and Nene Leakes both at ringside.
I'm gonna be honest, much like the Miz Sheamus matchup, all I remember about this is the finish. Brie Bella pretty much getting the X Factor on Nikki. She pins her sister, and, that's pretty much the 6 Diva tag. Now,
I guess that feud's over.
I was just about to say, as far as these two are concerned, I did read a rumor recently that they are going to have a match in Hell in a Cell, where the winner is where the loser is the winner's assistant. I think that's the stupidest stipulation you could possibly come up with. I am so beyond done caring about this feud. I miss Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. And Ryback, where the hell are you, Ryback? You were supposed to be back by now.
I know.
So yeah, this really sucks. But I'm dealing with it because at least we have Paige and AJ feuding over the Divas Championship. So is there anything else you want to say about this?
Can we get Naomi out of Total Divas, please?
Only when she wants to leave, my friend. Only when she wants to leave.
You never freaking know. She might have freaking tried to leave, and they were just like what they did on the freaking Total Divas show with Cameron, where they were like, well, you can, but we don't know how much longer you'll be employed if you do.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even think about that. What if, once you get in, it's like the mob, you have a harder time getting out? It's like, yeah, guys, this is great exposure for me. I feel like a lot of people know me now, so now I'm going to use this notoriety, bring it back to the Divas Championship. Oh, Naomi, that's so admirable. But you can't. And
I mean, you can, but if you do, we'd have to fire you.
Yeah, see, if you do, you'll already be losing the championship that you do have. Job security. Bam.
So bad.
Would you expect anything less from me? Anyway,
no, I don't mean from you. I mean from them. I mean the fact that they do, just so that everyone knows what we're referring to. During an episode of Total Divas, Cameron actually went up to, I don't know what his title is, but the guy that I guess is in charge of what the Divas do, and said that she wanted to go down to NXT to train so that she could be better in the ring. And John and I are sitting here like, oh my God, I don't hate her as much anymore. She's actually doing something admirable. And the guy straight up told her that if you go down to NXT, we don't know if we're ever going to call you back up to the main roster. Like, what a jerk! This girl wants to better herself, and you're literally telling her that if she wants to get better, she's probably never going to be able to use it.
Yeah, I think that really sends a bad message to any aspiring female wrestlers who may watch Total Divas, and I'm not even kidding.
No, I know. I completely agree with you.
It's like you hear that and you think, oh, well, I might as well just come in and just stay with my modeling background or whatever background I've come from that's not pro wrestling so that I know that they just can't get rid of me on a whim. Great message you're sending there, guys. And Mark Carano, I think was this guy's name. Yeah, you're a douchebag. You're a douche. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that, and I can't believe we actually came to bat for Cameron for a change. I feel the slight urge to bathe, but I think I'm going to be okay. So, yeah, with that said, I have nothing else to say about the Divas, so I guess we can move on to our next segment unless you have anything you want to add.
Yeah, up next was the whole Cena cutting a promo where he does the stepping away, talking about it from an omnipotent point of view, talking about how it's this young up-and-comer going against the veteran crap. So I don't even want to talk about that. Up next after that was a Bray Wyatt the whole Wyatt family really, vignette. This one was weird, man. They had a pregnant woman, and towards the end there was just random fog coming. Like, what is going on?
See, now if I was going to be an art house, coffee drinking beatnik, I'd be like, man, you don't understand. The pregnant woman that symbolizes rebirth, man. That's going to be the rebirth of the Wyatt family. But I don't really know what the hell's going on. I will say this promo that you're referring to seemed to focus exclusively on Bray, whereas the prior one seemed to put an emphasis on Luke and, Harper
like
and Rowan.
what is going to be different about the Wyatt family when they come back? Like, I thought that they were going to do, okay, we're putting the emphasis on Luke Harper. He's going to be the star. Bray's going to be his manager. Eric Rowan's going to be his bodyguard. This is going to be how we're doing it from here on. And then they put some emphasis on Rowan, and I was like, okay, so Bray is just going to be the mouthpiece, and we're just going to have these guys as a dominant tag team, like the Brothers of Destruction, killing people. And now all of a sudden they're putting emphasis on Bray again. What is going to change? How are they going to be any different?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming, and again, but then again, you hear rumors. Rumors mean crap in this business until you see it actually play out. I thought from the first promo, the Harper promo, he was getting ready for somewhat of a singles push. Then we have Rowan get one, and I think, oh, well, maybe Ashton's right, because I know you had remarked where he could fill in that role that Kane has filled in for so many years. That old school kind of like big, burly monster, whatever. But then Bray, who in my opinion got the best one. I loved what Bray had going on, even though I didn't understand a lick of it. Just all the insanity going on got me so jazzed up. I'm like, God, I miss Bray Wyatt so freaking much. Where he's got like this smoke all around the chair, and I'm like, oh my God, is he unseating the Undertaker? The dry ice, like what's going on? And you have the pregnant woman and talking about destruction. I'm hoping that whatever this is signaling, they go all the way with it. Please, WWE, do not do this to me. Do not do this to me where you give these guys something really amazing. They're hot for the first couple weeks, and then they lose a match to John Cena or a Randy Orton who seems like he's due for a babyface turn or some crap. I want these guys to dominate. So that's really my request. I don't know if you'd call it a Raw request because I wouldn't want to get too ahead of myself.
Well,
but
hey,
yeah.
Save it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll talk more about this later, but just so you guys know, I got really excited seeing this Bray Wyatt promo. I can't wait to see what the ultimate conclusion is for these guys.
All right. Up next was our main event of the evening, contract on a pole match, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, and this match started, I think, at like 57. So we knew that this was going to have shenanigans going on. Plus, literally everybody in the Authority came out to ringside before the match started.
Yeah, one thing worth noting, because only a commentary brought it up, Dean Ambrose really seemed like he wanted to beat John Cena and I guess prove something to him, because he focused a lot of the time on trying to beat down John Cena rather than going for the contract. So from a psychology standpoint, I don't really know if that made sense. I mean, Seth Rollins is your biggest adversary. You want to get that contract. You want to ensure that you get him locked inside Hell in a Cell. But yeah, he really spent a lot of time beating Cena down. But then again, it's John Cena. So I think Dean Ambrose is thinking to himself, okay, I need to get the cinder blocks that Seth used to try and take me out, destroy John Cena so there's no chance of him getting back up so I'm able to secure the contract. But what Dean Ambrose didn't take into account is it's John Cena, and that probably wouldn't even stop him. But what was able to stop John Cena was shenanigans, as you said, Ashley, because it didn't take long for the entire Authority to get involved, put the boots to John Cena, particularly Randy Orton really taking it to Cena, and Ambrose was able to slide out the back door, come out of nowhere, get the contract, get the win. So as you said earlier in the show, we were going to get John Cena versus Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell at the pay-per-view, and Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins inside the cell at the pay-per-view. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Hopefully.
I believe it will be. I know it's a PG environment, and I'm not expecting buckets of blood or anything, but I do see Ambrose versus Rollins being one of the more violent cell matches that we've had in recent memory. Kind of violent in terms of what Undertaker and Edge was. They didn't have any blood, but they did some really brutal spots. I mean, hell, Edge even speared Undertaker through the cell. I could see Ambrose and Rollins having a similar type matchup simply because of how Ambrose is and what he's about. I feel like you give these guys 20-plus minutes, which I don't see why they wouldn't get that. These guys are going to blow some people's minds. I can't wait.
Yep.
So, yeah, and as far as Cena and Orton and Hell in a Cell, I know some people are like, oh, my God, for the millionth time. And, yeah, I totally understand that. But think about what we could have gotten. So, you know what? I'll take Cena facing Orton again if it ensures that we're getting Ambrose versus Rollins inside the cell as it should be. I think it's a perfectly fair trade-off.
I agree.
All right, anything else you want to say, or should we move on to our next segment?
All I want to say is those of you complaining about Cena Orton 1 million, go screw yourself.
Okay.
Because, sure, it's repetitive, but just like John said, the alternative was Cena Rollins and Ambrose Orton, and you need to think about opportunity cost in these cases, because I will happily give up needing to see Orton Cena for the millionth time if it means that I get Ambrose Rollins, as opposed to not seeing Ambrose Rollins and also not seeing Orton Cena. Like, opportunity cost, people. Seriously.
I think you took the words right out of my mouth. Beautifully said. So with that said, we can move on to our next segment.